Okay, so we're recording. What just happened? I'm not sure. So hi everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. If you just jumped on or you're watching the recording, my name's Angie Lynch, and I'm joined by the one and only Nikki Morris.
Hello, hi.
Hello. So anyway, we are here tonight to talk to you about recruiting. Obviously, there is a massive incentive going on right now in Jamboree, and I know that most of you are working independently with your team managers and your executives within your groups on either an LC or bust kind of group, or with personal coaching or a team challenge or things like that to help you have the tools that you need to hit lead consultant, or even maybe team manager, because I know some of you are going for to build those lead consultant legs on your team so that you can achieve the title of team manager. So basically, one of the things, so there's 4 executives that have all kind of banded together to create these trainings for you. They'll be every Monday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and 10 p.m. New Zealand, sorry UK, I can't remember, and it's about 6 a.m. United States time. The cool thing about this is there will be a recording for you to always check back on. And a couple of the morning sessions will also be a repeat of the live, just so that you get to have hands-on real life access to us should you need us. Okay, so one of the things that has been very apparent to me with my personal business, I've been a consultant now for almost 4.5 years, and one of the things that is really apparent to me is that we sometimes kind of assume when people want to be a part of our team. Right, Nikki?
All the time.
All the time, right? So we kind of think, you know, hey, they're too busy, or you go and you do I'm an in-home party girl. Nikki is the Facebook lady, so she can kind of talk to that more of an extent of that than I can. But when you go into an in-home party, it's really easy to get distracted by everything else that's going on. So, you know, the kids that are running around, the cup of teas that are being poured, the samples that are being put on, the games that you're trying to play, your setup, you know, it's a high energy. Sometimes it can be a high stress if you're a new consultant and you're trying to figure out how parties work, but it's also a lot of fun, and we kind of get caught up in that a little bit, and we forget to kind of look at everything else that's going on around us. So Nikki and I put together something really cool for you, which I think is awesome. And I'm going to share my screen to show you. So if you've got a pen and paper, I'm going to introduce you to the women at mine and Nikki's party. Okay? And we hostess coach like a boss. Okay? So there are 7 people at this party. All right? And they're all loving Jamboree. Okay? So I'm going to screen share. And we're going to introduce you to Susie, our hostess with the mostess. Now, if you have a pen and paper, as we flick through these, I want you to write down who you think would be awesome to be on your team, and why you think they should be on your team, why you should ask them about Jamboree, okay? So Susie is the hostess with the mostess, okay? She's put the party together, she's organized the food, she looks like this in real life, like she wears pearls every day, she is put together. She invited her friends and she loves free stuff, okay? So she's the first one. All right, so we love Susie. Susie has also invited Carla. Now this is like my real life. I just kind of want to say that. I feel like this is my real life, okay?
That's actually Angie's family photo.
Yeah, right? So she's a mama on a mission. Like, she just has chaos. You know, she's come to this party. Everyone else has left their kids at home with the babysitter. She's just rocked up to this party because she's got, like, breastfeeding toddlers, and she's got a 2-year-old that's running around half naked. Like, this is kind of her life, right? She's got 6 kids, and she's a stay-at-home mum. All righty? So that's Carla. Then we have Debbie. So Debbie, she's Susie's next door neighbour. She's in her 50-ish somewhere, super generalisation. She might be 40. She might be 60, you never know. But she's an empty nester, or she doesn't have any kids at all. She came to the party because her husband or her partner's playing golf. She could also be a not married lady. Okay? So that's Debbie. You want to talk about Jenny? Nikki, you want to introduce Jenny?
So Jenny is super busy. She's always going 100 miles an hour. She works full time, 2 kids, another generalization. She's got 2 or 1.5. Is that, the average they say anyway. She arrived late to the party. Sounds like me, and has to leave early. She's literally the busiest woman ever.
Yeah. So that's Jenny. And
Hi,
then
Jenny.
we have Michelle. So Michelle is everyone's BFF. Like, she's the chick. There is one in every party, right? There is always that one chick in the party who knows everybody. All right. She's super bubbly and sweet, and you're like, I want to be her when I grow up. Okay. That is Michelle. She's involved in every community activity under the sun, and that's why she knows everybody. All right. So then we have Rachel. You want to talk about her, Nikki?
Oh, I love Rachel. She's the quiet one. She doesn't say a lot to everyone. She doesn't know really anyone else there. She doesn't say a lot to you either, but when you apply her sample, she's so happy. She gives you a big smile, but she doesn't order anything. Yeah.
Right? So that's Rachel. And then we have Sophie. Okay, so Sophie just recently lost her job. She's stressed about finances. You know this because she talks about a little bit of the party, and her friends seem to be a little bit concerned for her. So that's Sophie. She's at the party too. And then we're back to Susie, the hostess with the mostess. All right. So I want kind of a show of hands on the screen. I want you to give me, show me with your fingers how many of these ladies, how many of these ladies do you think you would ask to join your team? Or would you ask any of them to join your team? So there was 7 altogether. So show me how many. Danny says 7. Joe says 7. Michelle says 7. I can't see all of you. I need to see all of you. Why won't it let me see you all?
I think Ashley's got 5. I think she had 5. 4. Right. Ashley's got 4 or 5. Yeah.
All right.
Everyone else
got 7. Jamie, how many do you got? Who else? Shannon. Tara, how many do you got? How many are joining your team? We don't know, they say. I'm like, I call them out on the spot, and they're like,
Shannon's busy alfoiling something. She's got her hands busy.
Okay, that's okay. Multitasking, I'm down with that. So if you said 7, you are absolutely correct, okay? And the reason for this is when you walk into an in-home party, the first thing that you should do when you get there, other than greet your host and set up your stuff, is to start listening, okay? So the second that you get there, you are looking for those cues from your guest as to why they want to join the Jamboree opportunity, why they need to be a part of Jamboree, why, what they might be looking for, what might be missing, and in what ways the Jamboree opportunity could possibly help them. So Nikki and I are going to go through this and kind of tell you some things to listen out for, and these obviously are very generalized ideas of how to think about these ladies. Obviously, there are real people, okay? So we're going to start with Susie and tell you why, obviously, she would make a great asset to your team. So you want to kick us off, Nick?
Oh, well, honestly, I think as soon as I see a good hostess, that just screams to me good consultant. She was organized to get the party together. She has friends that went to her party, and that means that she's got friends that want to support her. So she's got a good warm market to start off. She's professional as well. She's got those beads on, all the pearls. on all the time. She looks stunning. Look at her. I would buy wraps off her. She's gorgeous. So she's going to be professional, and she loves freebies. And so what good consultant doesn't love freebies? So she'd make a perfect Jamboree consultant. I'd love Susie to be on my team.
Yeah, and she loves jams. Like, she likes jams enough to have a party. So that's a huge deal. All right. And obviously, she's going to get hostess rewards. And if you forget to offer her the hostess kit credit, even with our new super shiny, awesome consultant kit, you should still be offering that kit credit, because there is plenty of time in this month of July for someone to achieve 200 PRV. Okay. So that's Susie. Isn't she gorgeous? We could just look at her.
Love. She can give me some styling tips.
Yeah. I'm like, red and white seersucker dresses with bows in the front. Awesome. All right. Moving on to Carla, the mama on a mission.
Oh, look, I picked Carla to join my team because she clearly needs extra mummy time. Oh, yeah, extra mummy time. She needs me time. She needs something that doesn't involve cleaning up spaghetti off the floor and booby feeding. But what I really find is mums are often the most organized people you will meet. And organization is such a key aspect of our businesses. To me, she would make a perfect consultant, and she knows people. You know, she goes to the doctors, she goes to the store a lot. Well, you would with 6 kids. She goes to mums groups and school drop-offs, so she knows a lot of people too.
Exactly. And it's also nice when you are someone like Carla to be known as something else other than, you know, Chris's mum, Tegan's mum, you know, Harry's mum, Jacob's mum. It's something else that totally gives you that sense of, you know, individualism. So that's something there too. And you bang on, Nikki, about how if you have 6 kids, you've got to be organised, because otherwise you'd lose your mind. The other thing that I was going to say about Carla is too that she, you know, might need some extra income because she's got kids and she doesn't want to necessarily put her kids in childcare, but maybe their family needs just some extra money to afford, you know, new shoes, school camps, things like that. So when you're at a party and you're listening, you know, Carla might be talking about the school camp that's coming up and how it's going to cost $400. Because let's be real, school camps are not cheap these days. And so you might then go to Carla and say, hey, I heard you were talking about, you know, school camp coming up. You know, Jamboree might be something that can help you with that. You know, it might be able to help you earn that little bit of extra money that you need to be able to, you know, pay for those piano lessons, or, you know, subsidize those special activities that you want to do with your kids that might not come from that specialized income. You know, that special, specific, you know, family income. So that's another reason you talk to her as well. Alrighty, next up is Debbie. Isn't she gorgeous? I hope I have hair like that.
I like Debbie because, to me, she's going to have a really different circle of friends compared to the other women in the room. I think a lot of the other women in the room actually might be friends, and they share similar friend circles as well. So Debbie, being that bit older, you know, will come from a different social group, which makes, you know, more leads and more different business for her as well. She's an empty nester, so, you know, she's either got no kids or her kids have moved out, and she needs to find something for herself to do while her hubby plays golf, because seriously, she's so sick of just staying home and prepping his dinner. After 30 years of marriage, you know, she just needs something different. She needs something for herself. And yeah, Debbie can afford to get her nails done all the time. You know, they've got the money. Golf clubs are expensive. But really, she wants that income to say, look, I earned that, not my hubby, the doctor.
Yeah, I completely agree. And see, and I see Debbie just a little different. Because when I think about Debbie, I think about her obvious same kind of way as you too, Nikki, where she has disposable income. Because she's not, you know, either she doesn't have kids or she's an empty nester. Sorry. But, you know, she might also be a single gal too. And it might be a new opportunity for her to get out of, get an opportunity outside of her work, because maybe she's not retired yet, to get out of the house and meet some new people and enjoy what she's doing. That's something that's totally just for herself. It might not be income driven. It just might be hey, I really like their nails and I really like the product, but I really like people and I want to be around them more. So there is there is literally a laundry list as to why Debbie would be brilliant. The generalized socioeconomic of someone in their 50s is a huge one, but she also then has the time to devote to a business as well. She's not chasing kids like Carla would be and putting kids to bed. Maybe she's got nieces and nephews that she hangs out with too, and it's something that she would share with them. So there's lots of possibilities for Debbie. So let's skip forward. Ooh.
Debbie does very driven.
Yeah, she is very driven. Next up, 100-mile-an-hour Jenny.
Well, I don't know, busy people, you hear that all the time, right? Oh, I'm just too busy. And Jenny clearly is way too busy. She's probably not that organized. She's arriving late, but she arrived late because she was just at another party for something else. And to me, busy people are fantastic for my team because they know a lot of people. She works full time. She has a whole group of people at her work. She's got kids. She takes them to sporting events. Busy people are awesome because they know a lot of people, and they need to be organized as well.
Love it. I love Jenny because Jenny was me. And if I think back like 4.5 years ago, I would not have asked me to join my team. Okay. I would have I literally did arrive with the first Jamboree party that I went to. I arrived late and left early, and I also didn't buy anything. Okay. Truth. But luckily for me, my sponsor shoved a host join brochure in my face and said, yeah, take this with you. And I had a sample. So she did plant a seed, and we'll come back at the end of going through this as to why and how to follow up with these different types of people as well, and why it's important to. But never, this for me is like the icing on the cake. This is why you never assume. I would never have asked me. I was 100-mile-an-hour Jenny. I owned another business. I worked full time. I had 2 kids. My husband worked full time and was in school. I was the busiest woman on the planet. So I love Jenny because I think she's funny. All right.
I love it. I mean, what's better to say that you could ditch the 9 to 5 to do what we do?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Next is Michelle. Go for it, Nikki.
Michelle was everyone's BFF. So, she's got lots of friends. She's got lots of social circles. But what I really love about Michelle is, and you can pick this up, that they're involved in community activities. So maybe she's involved in some dance clubs or charities. So she'd be perfect for fundraisers. She could be someone that really is driven and motivated by raising money for the community activities that she's involved in.
Yeah, I completely agree. She's awesome. All right, let's skip to the next one. Rachel, the quiet one.
Oh, I don't know. Well, she doesn't buy, so she must not be interested in our products, right?
No way.
No, so there's lots of reasons that people don't buy. Maybe she's just really uncomfortable and nervous around a huge group of people. She's not comfortable asking the questions that she's thinking. She might be in financial strife at the moment where she's just not able to make a purchase. And that's where Jamboree could be the answer for her. So you really need to delve deeper and get Rachel talking, because I bet she has a lot to say when you get her talking.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like Rachel is one of those people that you want to make sure at a party that you get to spend time with. And whether that's by making, compliment, obviously I always compliment people on their samples, but making sure that, you take that extra couple of minutes to go over that with that. And then also before she leaves, that you thank her for coming and you make sure you have her contact details. I feel like she's someone that 100% of all of these people that are going to require a follow-up, I feel like Rachel is the one that you know automatically that you're going to have to follow up with her. It's just not a comfortable, obvious situation for her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so agree.
Alrighty, and I think we got one more. Sophie.
Oh, well, Sophie needs income. Jamboree's the answer.
I know, she's kind of obvious, isn't it?
That's like
hello. Hello. Hiring. Currently hiring over here.
Yeah.
And we're back to Susie. So I hope Nikki and I have given you some ideas as to things to listen for. But to Nikki, what I wanted to talk about, and hopefully, will you talk about this from a Facebook perspective? Because we didn't plan for this. Sorry, guys. With my in-home parties, some people, in the bottom of your order form, let me pull one out and not show you card details. Okay. All right, so at the bottom of your order form, okay, there is this section here. All right. Okay, I'd like to learn more about hosting a fun party, a Jamboree fundraiser, and the Jamboree business opportunity. If you, when you use these, my brain is not working. When you use these order forms, they're called order forms, okay? When you use these order forms, this should be your automatic cue to ask these questions, okay? Because you need to check people's card information. So you should also be asking these too. So use these as a prompt for yourself. And then if you have somebody that doesn't purchase, they at least need to fill out this top section, okay? Because I know that you are awesome consultants and you give the best follow-up possible to your customers and your hostesses, which means that 3 days after the party, you call them or text them and thank them for coming, okay? So for someone like, super quiet Rachel, who doesn't have a lot to say, that might be your kind of, little bit of an opportunity to get to know her better, to kind of ask some questions of her and find out, if she had a good time. Is she loving her sample? Is she interested in Jamboree? Maybe, hey, we have this really awesome consultant kit. Have you thought about the opportunity? Barbara Block is awesome in her training when she talks about the 3 Bs, and she talks about business, booking, and the buy. And I think this month in particular is one of those where it's super, super important to do that. The other thing that I like to do at my in-home parties is obviously plant some recruiting seeds. And I like to, say, our consultant, we have 2 consultant kit options. One is a consultant kit on steroids where you get everything you could possibly ever need. All the coolest product in the world, and obviously I have a picture to show them. And then we have another one, which is a more frugal option. So, you include those little suggestions in there as well. I think that's awesome. How do you do those, Nikki?
How
do you insert your your recruiting seeds into your Facebook parties?
So when I speak to people and they always say, oh, I find it really hard, I've never recruited in an online party, that's where I found pretty much all of my recruits, because I guess I'm that sort of social awkwardness where I find it quite difficult to say those things in parties. But online, you just write a message and it's done. But I guess it's super important to make sure you're connecting with the people in your online parties, rather than, it's so easy for us to sort of share posts into parties and forget to build the relationships and get people talking, because, where you're at a home party, no one sits in silence, but in an online party, they will, right? Yeah. So you need to be the one making sure they're talking. If anyone comments on anything, start a conversation. When people win prizes, send them a message, and don't just say, hey, you want a prize? What's your address? have a conversation. You know, I always would be like, sorry, it took me so long to reply back to you. I was just popping my toddler to bed. I love the fact that I can work at home and do this, you know, and just really subtle keys that you would still say at an in-home party. You've just got to be really bit more out there and obvious, I think, in the online parties. So yeah, even the same things, like I would say, you know, okay, watch me work, all those sorts of things. Like if I play bingo at the end of it, I'm like, can you believe I get paid to play online bingo? And all those sorts of things. And I guess I just really put it out there. If my hostess is great, which they all are, I'll say, you know, you're a natural at this. Have you thought about becoming a consultant? And I will just put it out there and ask the questions.
And that's exactly it. If you don't ask, they're not going to join your team. You have to ask, right. Otherwise they're not going to. And at the end of the day, you know, we can give you all the training in the world, but you know, here's the other thing. People are going to say no, and that's okay. But at least you know that you've asked, okay? You know, you might ask somebody now, and it might not be the right time for them, and that's totally okay. But in a year's time, they might come back to Jamboree, you might do another party for them, and it might be the time then. So we have 7 more minutes remaining on this call, and we do have a beast mode challenge for you guys to do in your team pages. And complete. And Nikki, you want to tell them about that?
I completely forgot about this part. Right. Awkward. All right, so Beast Mode Challenge. We were thinking we want you guys, and Beast Mode Challenge is like 15-minute power task, 30-minute power task. Yeah.
Yeah, Beast Mode. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So look back at your past 3 parties, write them down. Was it, you know, Sarah's online party, then you had an in-home party, and then it was Angie's sits and tips or whatever it was. And write down every single person that you remember being at the party. Grab out the order forms and all the things that you need to do and write them down. And write down everything you remember about them, you know, things they said, the keys that, you know, that key things that they could have said, like, I have no money to order, or whatever it is, you know, the busy mum, you know, identifying who that Jenny in your group is. And really just, we want you to identify the people in there and why they would suit your team and why they would make a great consultant. And then message them all.
Yeah, and then message them. And so post a screenshot of your messages in the thread that your team manager creates on your page for you. And we have a sheet of wraps to give away. Yeah. Woo! We like sheets of wraps. So that's the Beast Mode Challenge. So I hope you guys have learned something. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I will turn off the recording, and if anyone wants to ask any questions, we literally have 5 minutes left, but this will be posted. So thanks guys for joining, and I'm going to hit on the, there we go. We are no longer recording.
It says we're recording still.
All right, does anyone have questions?
We're still recording.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, we are.